Today we're going to be making some really pretty paper pansies. Right, next in our little flower arrangement we're going to create from the hearty clay a pansy. Now I would give you a top tip: get your flowers, get a picture of the flower you're working on. It might make it a lot easier for you, especially when you decide to do something but you haven't got a clue what it actually looks like. Now with this one, the pansy, the one I'm working off has about 4 petals. So take a ball of the clay and you'll get used to the actual measurements. Obviously play with it, play and decide how much you need. This is going to be the first petal. You roll the ball and then just taking your finger on one side of the actual ball, just roll it so you get a teardrop shape. And then what you need to do, and this actually is going to be quite a big one, then what you need to do is squidge it out. So you're actually squidging the clay, so you're getting, can you see it flattens out but you've still got that point. So just keep the point with all the petals that you're creating for your pansy. So we've got one, that's the large one, and then see with some of them, with some of the pansies, they sort of come out and then they've got a part that dips in. So just depending what picture you're following, what image you're following, just create it as per your image. And of course you have got artistic license to change it a little bit. The second petal, do exactly the same. The side petals are slightly smaller, so just reduce the size of the initial ball that you're creating and do exactly the same thing. So you're creating a petal from that teardrop and just again squidging it, but keeping, as you're squidging, keeping that point. There we go, so that's our second one. Our third one should be approximately the same size as that. You'll notice I am not specific with the sizes. I try and get it approximate. If something is really out, you know, when you come to assemble it, then it's so easy just to create another one. As long as it hasn't dried up too much, you'll be able to use the same clay. So depending on the speed that you're working on. So we've got our 3 main petals there, and then we'll take a little bit more clay and then create our 4th. Now I like working with the white clay for flowers because it allows you to colour them however you want, so you can get some beautiful colours. And I'll show you with this, with the pansy, actually colouring while it's still wet, and it looks really effective. Okay, so we're just creating that final one. You'll see I've got a nick there. If you do get that, then just blend it out and blend the clay back into itself so you get that nice flat shape. And with the pansy I'm a little bit more, well, not a perfectionist by any means of the word, but I'm a bit more careful with the actual formation of the petals. Okay, now the way the pansy actually sits, and I like to put it on my craft mat first of all before I start to assemble. You've got your back petal, you've then got your actual, let's see, the bottom petal. So this will go on here. So just allow those central bits to overlap, and then take your middle pieces. Now what I do is use my embossing tool and just squidge them in with your embossing tool. And this is again so simple because you can start to squidge them in, start to marry them up. If it has become too dry and the actual flower won't stick together, then just add a tiny bit of water. Please don't add too much, because if you oversaturate it, it will just go gooey. And we can just, and you can see there, what I love about the air dry clay, you can get movement. So if you want those petals to start looping round, so we want them to come round to actually be more joined, so we don't see any gaps in there, then we can do that. Even now, if you want it to come in a little bit, you can still do that. So even when you've formed the base of your pansy, you can start to play with it. So if I wanted to squidge that in a bit, I'd still be able to do that. But that is the basic shape of my pansy. Now I did say I'd show you how to create colour whilst it's still wet. What I've done, and these are with my my water pencils again, just pick up colour. So in fact I might take a richer yellow. Sorry, change my mind. Even on videos, change my mind. Right, take a richer yellow. Make sure they're your watercolour ones, and then they'll disperse. And I'm taking my water brush. Please don't saturate it, because it will go too gooey. And if it does, the central part will just fall to pieces. And I've done that, so I know what I'm on about with that one. I've obviously done it wrong before I've done it right. So don't put too much water. If you find you're applying too much water, then rather than use a wet brush, a water brush, just use your normal paintbrush and a tiny bit of water, so you're more in control of the water. But can you see, you're just layering the colour in. So we'll put the yellow in the centre, and again work off your images here. What I love about pansies, there's so many gorgeous colours, so it really allows you to play with the different variations. And this is something you want to take your time on and play with this, and that's why it's probably better not to use a water brush for all of it, because it can get too wet. And I'm taking the blue there, so just picking up the blue and just filling in. I really like this bit. Look how it blends beautifully. It's a really nice surface to work on with your watercolour pencils. And obviously you can try other mediums, maybe if you've got your plumes or your whispers. Again, just try not to make it too wet. So you don't want to add too much water. I think that's why your pencils are possibly better for this, because you can be really in control of the actual water content that you're applying. Now obviously at home, when you're doing this for yourself, you'll take more time. I'll just show you a few petals and then one I've prepared earlier. So just picking up the colour there, and this is the beauty of your pansies. You can really play with lots of different colour variations. These can be fabulously vibrant, and it'll hold the colour. You can wait to paint them after they dry. If you want something more vibrant, when they're dry, use your acrylic paints. Again, you can use your cosmic shimmers, you can use your spritzers, all sorts of different mediums with this. It really is forgiving. But you can see how we've started building the colour up there. This is one I did this evening, and you can see a lot smaller, so again you can get real delicate looks to your pansies. But this one, you can see how I've started building up the colour. Even now, that I've only done that this evening, so maybe an hour ago, if that, and you can see it's already started to dry, and that's how it's holding its shape. So just lean it against something. If you want to get it to hold shape, lean it against something to dry, but it's already holding its shape. And even now, if I wanted to apply more colour, you can still do that. So at any time you can apply colour and really play with it, and I love the way the colour blends. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you get your air dry clay and make lots and lots of flowers. What I love about this, of course, is the variation. We've got loads of different sizes. If you're beginning, start on the bigger ones because they're easy, they're not as fiddly, but when you really get into it, you can get these really delicate and make some beautiful pieces. And remember, when they've dried, they're so lightweight. So again, perfect for all your card making projects.